Hi, I'm Rosh, Wealth from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we dive headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat with industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal, a zero carbon future. In today's episode, I am exceptionally happy to go back to where it all began almost a year ago on my second ever broadcast. I'm chatting to Sam Behrens, Managing Director of Northlight Productions, on-site director and executive producer for both Open Homes Australia and the award-winning home improvement show, Renovate or Rebuild. Sam, how are you?
Good, Rosh Sam. Thanks for having us on again. It's been a long year since we last spoke.
It certainly has, mate. I think last time we spoke was November last year, so almost a year.
And it's been a big one at that. So a lot's happened, as you all know about.
I do indeed. Well, let's get stuck straight into it and let our audience know what you've been up to. So first and foremost, congratulations on being a dad.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a little bit more tired these days, as you well know about having a child. But starting to get back into it now, get our feet back on the ground, filming more shows. As you know, we've got Renovate or Rebuild Season 2 and Open Home Season 6 going on at the moment. But yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. First half of the year was full on, but he's doing really well, 6 months now. So no, it's been a very, very exciting time with him.
Mate, that's so cool. I can't wait to meet him. We haven't seen him yet. Maybe we'll bring him onto the golf course when we're next there, and he can be our mini caddy.
Don't worry.
It's probably going to be on the buggy. So, Sam, you mentioned Renovate or Rebuild Season 2, which I'm really, really excited about. Before we get on to Season 2, let's just talk about last season, Season 1. I mean, what were your experiences in filming Renovate or Rebuild comparatively to what you've done in the past?
Oh, well, Renovate or Rebuild was great. You know, firstly, we had so many great people involved with the show, so that made it a really fun experience between all the hosts on the show, people like yourself being involved with the whole season. It was really, really fun to do that. But I guess the main difference was, you know, from all our looking at amazing homes and showcasing great design, it was good to learn about all the sustainability aspects behind it. And I'm not sure if, you know, everyone else knows, but we won a Banksia Award, so really good sustainability award in Australia to promote in, like, I think it was the main category for promoting via media. So that was a huge accolade to take home. You were there at the awards, you know, with James holding up the trophy, which was good to see. But that was great. So, you know, kind of good to get a bit of reception to what we put in there to try and promote sustainability. Everything we learned from the products you use, from windows and solar panels and batteries, all the way to little things that, you know, I didn't know about from the start of the show, like zoning, you know, how important that was, or orientation of the home. So it was really broad look at sustainability in a home, from the design principles to the products you can use. So we did that, and you know, amongst showing some really good designs in there, turned out to be, you know, really good show with also really good underlying concept of you know, promoting healthy design, which was the overall goal. And yeah, this year the big improvement really is just showing those builds. That's all we missed out on last year because of the timeline. But now we're just getting prepped, and we've got to make sure we get the builds shown as well, so we can show the transformation with the design principles in space.
It must be really, really rewarding and satisfying to not only create and design and film an incredible TV show like Renovate or Rebuild, but then to be acknowledged with an award from Banksia. I mean, you know, I know the principles of the show with yourself and James was always about energy reduction, demonstrating, you know, net zero properties, and how, you know, anyone developing, renovating, building a property can actually create something that can have a positive impact to our environment. But then to be acknowledged and win that award, that must have been absolutely incredible for you.
Oh, it was great. It was so good. And, you know, to see that it was like, it actually got seen the way we wanted it to be seen, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that was really, I don't know, like, you know, even little things like, you know, take it as flattery, but, you know, things like the block, you know, I was going to mention that. But, you know, it's the best way of being flattered is other people showing off what you're doing as well. So I don't want to say it was because of Renovate or but I think, you know, after seeing us on air, and there's clearly a bit of an appetite for that right now, you know, everywhere around the world. Not only it's finally taken that leap from being something that people go, we should talk about, to people going, oh no, I'm interested in this now. You know, now it's on the mainstream big shows. It's, you know, it's going places, and it's just getting bigger and bigger every year. So hopefully it was a good little springboard for it to be front and foremost in everyone's mind.
No, absolutely. And look, I've loved the fact. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the block. I think I watched every single season of the block since I've lived in Australia, bar season one. And just to see this season how they've obviously gone, going off grid. They've incorporating battery technology. There's a few people that we work with, some of our partners and colleagues on that show. That's amazing to see. But it's just, and as you said, it is the best form of flattery. It's just really good to see that the impact Renovate or Rebuild has had on the industry and on home improvement TV shows is there to be seen. So then it be incorporating sustainable design and energy efficiency and incorporating the technology is brilliant. And I'm just really chuffed to see like our partners and people, our peers in the industry now also starting to take on these opportunities as well to get their brands out there, to get their technology out there, to show themselves in a really great format. You know what? No matter how much I love the block, and I think it's amazing, Renovate or Rebuild is just such a quality show. And I know being at the Banksy Awards and watching James go up there and getting that, and you were about to, well, not you personally, but your beautiful wife was about to give birth. You were there holding her head. So it definitely brought a tear to my eye, and just in that group of people as well, to see how inspiring and how many people are championing zero carbon and carbon reduction is fantastic. But look, really, you mentioned on season 2, the key thing missing, and there was obviously a fair bit of feedback from the audience saying great show. However, it would have been amazing to actually see the property. So what's happening with season 2? So I know it's kind of pre-production. There's probably been a few little sort of like not delays, I'd say, but more so acknowledging the fact that things take longer than they used to in today's day and age with limits of stock and products and whatever.
That was kind of the main thing was there. We're in the pre-production stage. We've honestly filmed a few of the homes already to get the kind of pre-shots, because these homes, that is the big difference for season 2, is that we want to be able to show these builds. So we've made sure we get in early in some places that might have some construction or things going to be going into place before Christmas. So that's kind of the main step. So we have done a little bit of filming, but the main thing is really just setting up and finalising all our final partners and making sure everyone's, locked and loaded before we get in with the host on site and everything like that. So exactly as you say, just a few little shortages this year, which put down a little bit of a slow burn at the start of the year. But we're almost finalised with that now and going to get rolling real soon with proper production. So yeah, really exciting times. Some of the homes we've got on this are going to be pretty cool stories behind the homeowners as well, what they want to be doing and why they want to be going to zero carbon and all that sort of thing. So yeah, much bigger and better season 2. And looking forward to being on the main network for this season as well, which will be a big jump.
That's true. It's actually going to be on the 9 network this season, isn't it? Which is absolutely brilliant.
We got a little bit of credit in there, which is good. Everyone, not only the sustainability side of things with Banksia, the network's given us a little bit of kudos as well. So all around, it's been a great reception from that first season. I think better than all of us expected, which is good because we have high expectations.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait. And Energy Balance once again is delighted to be one of your renewable energy technologies partner. So so excited to be on there. Quickly, let's talk about your most recent show that screened, which I loved, and particularly because it's got our mate Dave on it. But Australia's Best Pools. I mean, that was incredible. I mean, that was a really, really good job. How was that filming that?
That was so fun to film. So Dave, when he comes, he's like, we've got to make a pool show, and I'm thinking, how many pools? There can't be that many pools around Australia. And boy, there was more than enough pools to be showcasing incredible stuff. So traveling the country with Dave for 4 or 5 months was just an absolute bag of fun wherever you go. Oh, it was a pretty unreal thing to film. And then once we got it all wrapped up, and it's on air at the moment, so there's still 3 episodes left every Saturday and Sunday they're airing on 9 Live. So check it out if you haven't seen it. But it's really just, there's some really incredible places out there. And when you look at some of the backyards and homes in conjunction with the pools, blows your mind what's going on there. And where we can now, after learning from you, Rosh Sam, we sneak the sustainability in there because, as we know, pools and heat pumps and stuff burn a lot of energy. So that industry, for example, all these industries that you don't expect are doing that. Like, they're bringing in new regulations now as well, because obviously they're working with 7-star houses, and pools one of the first things you look at. So it's really spreading from the inspirational standpoint, that was amazing to be able to see these pools, but also learning how like all these industries are really adapting to how the future of building is going to go was quite interesting to see, because I didn't know it ranged as far as, backyards and everything like that. So really eye-opening and really fun too, particularly just traveling with Dave, as you can imagine that would be.
Yeah, well, we certainly filmed a couple of segments with Dave on open homes, and every single one was an absolute crack up. So there's I could imagine, obviously I've loved filming with everybody I've filmed with on open homes and Renovate or Rebuild, but Dave is he's a good guy. He's definitely a lot of fun to travel with.
Especially when you're Monday to Friday and you have a few pub nights in there, he sure knows how to treat you.
Absolutely. But we'll keep those off. So look, with Open Home Season 6, and that's really one. That's coming up now. I mean, we've been working on that, on the pre-planning and the pre-production, for a number of weeks. And I know all the entry mount segments are going to start filming in November, so it'll probably be November, December, maybe if I maybe a little bit of January as well.
A couple in early January.
Always, mate. Always. You know me, Sam. We like to leave things as late as possible. Sorry, mate. Keep you on your toes. But I guess one of the challenges that NG Matters has had really is, yes, we have a technology segment in every single show, which is brilliant. Before I get into our challenges, why did you add the technology segment? I mean, Open Homes is doing incredibly well for the first 4 seasons. Season 5, you added the tech segment. I know probably half of it's me. You're sitting onto the me to feature on the show, which I appreciate.
That's what it's all about. Well, we just learned so much from Renovate or Rebuild, to be honest. So when we just aired season 4 of Open Homes, went really well. And then, Renovate or Rebuild, we just learned so much about the industry. And not only are these really important to be in homes, and it's really good to promote these sort of brands that are helping the environment as well as making homes look incredible, that they're incorporated in a lot of inspirational and high caliber homes as well. So it was really a hand in hand. We got access to some of these amazing, whether it be automated or whether it be off the grid homes, which are incredible to showcase. But it was also really important to show what these are doing for the world as well. And you wouldn't know, instead of going in and maybe showing off some amazing cladding, which, a lot of people at home want to know because they, want to make sure their facade looks amazing. Now they can actually think about, we can retrofit, some batteries and panels to an amazing home we've already got, and we don't have to start from the ground up. So it's just another avenue that people can learn about the products or AC, I think it was AC panels that we learned around last year that, you can put on every side of the home, which again,
AC, yeah.
That's the one. That's why you're the expert. But we have no idea about that. And then you've got these amazing, whether it be heritage listed homes that we couldn't really showcase because there wasn't really a reason to before. Whereas now we can go, well, this is what you can put on them. They're amazing homes that you may already have or look at buying, and you can take these to the next level and make it a future-proofed home to a degree.
No, that's really fantastic. Well, look, let me quickly just show a clip from last year. This is this is episode 10. So this is the very final episode of last season.
Yeah.
This is Feronia. So this was I'm showing it to you. It's just a short clip, and but B, it's absolutely stunning, and it's it will give a very good idea in my eyes of what Open Homes is all about. So I'm going to show this. This stunning home in Talabudra Valley features a whopping 20 kilowatt system, along with battery storage and EV just for good measure. What makes this home unique is it's installed with the latest Feronius inverter with full battery backup capability. Where this feature shined the most was in the recent southeast Queensland floods, where the home lost complete power. The battery backup capabilities of the Feronius inverter shone through, providing power to the home. I mean, wow. So there's a number of things I love about that property. I mean, ordinarily, I'm the nerd talking about the tech, saying that the technology is what I love the most about it. But that particular property was absolutely stunning. It wasn't raining.
That was a stunning one. That was that's why we closed the whole season on that one, because it was I don't even remember how many bedrooms. I think it was 6 bedroom, 4 bathroom. It was it was just insane. Carleen absolutely loved that home as well, which, you know, to get her approval that high, it's, you know, she's got high standards for house. So that was.
I mean, when I saw Carleen, I mean, you know, I got there, I was there quite early, so I managed to get our component film quite soon. But Carleen looked like she was just settling in for the morning and probably the afternoon. I mean, it was absolute, you know, mind-bending property, stunningly designed, beautiful. And once again, with the technology featured on it, it really was, for me, evident that this particular segment demonstrated its technology in the best possible way. Just for those watching, that particular property featured Fronius. It's a Gen 24 hybrid inverter, which essentially, you know, what made it even more special was literally a couple of weeks before we filmed, that particular property was caught in the floods and there was a power cut. And that power cut, you know, occurred across the entire Talbudgera area, which meant all those properties were without power for 2 or 3 days. Now, this property had already had the technology installed. And just the nature of how the configuration and the way it was installed allowed the solar power system to keep operating throughout the power cut, still charge the battery, which meant that property essentially was able to operate off grid until power was restored, and which was absolutely insane. And you know, great timing from our perspective, because when we went to film the segment, you know, the homeowner, we spoke to to one of the homeowners, and she was just like, you know what, the technology just stood on its own, and was, you know, without that, I don't know what we'd have done. Like, you know, would have made things very, very difficult. So, and then on top of that, an incredible property.
Who would have thought a home that size could be run off grid? That was what blew my mind. Like, I always thought, yeah, you could run a 2-3 bedroom, small, you know, maybe townhouse, but something like that, that's a lot of energy.
Well, just for anyone watching, so the entire property's electricity requirements would not be met ordinarily, especially off a battery. I mean, with the solar power system operating, you know, throughout the daytime, yes, there's more than likely enough energy in daytime hours to power the property. But then from a battery perspective, and once the battery's fully charged, you know, you'd have to turn things off, have to turn off appliances, and just keep on those things that are absolutely critical, like the refrigeration, for example. Yeah. You can put your aircon on at night. You know, yeah, it's a bit humid tonight. I'm just going to put my aircon on full blast. Nah, you know, that's
like keep the fridge full. So that's the important thing, you know.
Exactly, food and lights, you know, and candles sometimes are better than light, you know, than traditional lighting anyway, right? But look, so that was fantastic. But I guess when we're talking about what makes a great home for open homes, and why I bring it up, we've got a couple spots left. There's a couple technology segments left on this upcoming season. Energy Matters has yet to fill them. We want to. We've got a long list of people wanting to be on there, but it's not just about, you know, the willingness to feature a beautiful home and your technology. It does have to be a really, really beautiful home. So I guess, Sam, you know, straight from horse's mouth, what makes a great home in this particular context within our energy segment for Open Homes Australia?
Well, so as you said, you know, we've got most of your positions filled, but as you say, we're really trying to make sure this season we get the best of the best when it comes to inspirational projects. And that's really what makes it, is when it's an inspirational home, when it's something that you look at and go, that's something different, that's something I would like to live in, that's something that maybe no one else has seen before, like that Fronius home, which really captures people's attention. Because, you know, if we're for the base of our show, we're not going to be showcasing your standard home. This is all about inspirational projects that people really want to dream about living in. And when people see these and can associate that brand with that home and go, oh, that's the caliber of home that this type of, like Fronius, is working with, that means that could work with my type of home. Because the people watching this show, we've got a very solid audience of, you know, 6 years now. And it is in that, you know, that OG1 category where people who are watching the show generally are looking at building, buying, or living in these amazing homes, you know, or whether it be the people just dreaming about it, which is where I'm at. You know? So what we're looking for is these homes that stand out amongst the pack. There's something that's different, something that's amazing, something that you could see yourself living in. But then on top of that, from, you know, the Energy Matters point of view, and where you're so good at talking about the products and what they're actually doing and how they're helping the home perform, that's where you can jump in and talk about how not only is it inspirational and looks amazing, this is how it performs from a technology standpoint, which no other homes really, for the last, as long as we've been filming this show, 6 years, have stood out in that pack. So that's really what we're looking for. Inspiration with a point of difference on the technology.
No, fantastic. And look, I know from, on last season, I mean, we had 10 different segments, a range of different partners and products on the show. But really, what we found from the feedback from those who actually, had, or took on one of those segments, was just a range of, feedback they had from their customers. I mean, from a manufacturer's perspective, it's amazing to showcase your technology in a, as you said, a stunning home, which is obviously beautiful, but most importantly, just showing how that technology can actually fit, the aesthetics of the property. I mean, I remember one of the ones we filmed, which was in Brisbane, which was, stunning, like, beautiful waterfront home. But I remember when back in the day when I was a salesperson selling solar power in people's homes, and I'd go to one of these beautiful, stunning, large homes, and I'd be like, no, I'm not putting those ugly things on my roof. I don't care if it's going to reduce my electricity bill by $1,000 or $1,500 a quarter. It looks horrible. Whereas with today's technology, being discreet as possible, and the panels, there's black panels, there's just beautifully, the batteries are actually very elegant. I mean, a lot of cases, and the technology just looks great, a whole lot better too. So, but most importantly, Open Homes has almost demonstrated, as you said earlier, that you can install and have this technology on your actual property, but still have it aesthetically look pleasing and in keeping with the facade. And I think your heritage list of property we filmed in South Australia was a great example.
Yep. Well, that's what I was saying when it's the ones where you can retrofit it too, because they're really important. But like you said, I think that was the one in Cleveland Bay or something like that in Queensland.
Yes.
As you say, yeah, no one wants a beachfront home covered in panels. But now back in the day, but now you've got these sleek black panels that you can make shadow lines out of even. So because in the end of the day, some of them now become a bit of a design feature, having these things incorporated. Whether it be panels or batteries incorporated on it, becomes a feature. Or now with EV chargers, now you can show off your fancy new electric car, which I don't mind filming those when we get the chance to.
Oh, look, we've been speaking to a few car manufacturers for both Open Homes and for Renovate or Rebuild Season 2, and I mean, seriously, I mean, it's incredible of the technology that's available, and some of these cars are now available are absolutely stunning. And it's only at the beginning, right? So, but it's amazing to see how many people are adopting electric vehicles and incorporating EV chargers as part of their design, as part of their build, even though they may not necessarily have an EV right now. So that's just really, really positive. And it'll be great, mate, to have a few EVs, sort of ferrying us around during the production of the upcoming shows.
You're complaining with that, especially petrol's going up 25 cents next week. Everyone get on the EV while you can. I think more and more people are going to be getting in while they can now.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Discounted fuel is about to finish. Sam, a couple of quick other things before we finish up. Just a couple of quick things on zero carbon. As you know, Energy Matters believes in the zero carbon future. Would you say becoming a father has changed your thoughts on carbon reduction? I know you've always been like, a real sort of waving the flag for carbon reduction, and I wouldn't say, I wouldn't necessarily say you're a staunch environmentalist, but I'd say that you're always very positive towards the actions I've seen you ever take towards reducing your carbon footprint. Would you say being a dad has changed that even further?
Oh, I think it does for everyone, because I think when you're on your own, you're like, I can do as much as I can in the next, hopefully, another 60, 70 years. But when you have a kid, then you're like, oh, now we've got to think about the next 100 years beyond that. And you've got to make sure you do what you can for them as well. So, I don't think, as you say, like, because I have always, waved the flag, no environmentalist. We're making TV shows. I'm not doing what you're doing, but, I wish we could. But it does give you a little bit, I don't want to say pressure's the wrong word, but a bit more importance and a bit more kind of, instead of going, oh, we'll just leave the heater on because it's a bit cold, you go, oh, well, actually, I might take a little bit more care about that. Better close these doors instead of close the blinds, even little things like that we're just thinking a little bit more about, and especially when I think from my perspective too, because I'm lucky to be in a position where we can promote it via TV and, get it out to the masses a bit more. It makes me feel a bit better in the sense that I can help a little bit more than some others can, in the sense that we can incorporate these technology and incorporate things into our TV shows a bit more prevalently, and make sure that it is first and foremost in, as many of our shows and where it is applicable. Obviously we're not going to be showcasing something irrelevant and talking about it, but anywhere we can, I think it's important to try and promote it and just put it in front of the eye, because as you see now, with more and more shows picking it up, I really see in the next 2-3 years, it's going to be first and foremost on every build, on every house. And when you think of like housing as such a contributor, it's going to make a massive impact, hopefully, to everything over the next few years, just the media push in how important this is.
Absolutely. I mean, I think James, McGregor said it well when he says, really, it's about making it the norm and using edutainment as the format. Really what we're looking to achieve by, with the Renovate Rebuild and now with Open Homes as well, is by, having and showcasing properties with that technology. It becomes the assumption that every single property, every single new build, every single renovation, fundamentally every single property, be it business or residential, will incorporate a level of renewable energy technology or energy saving devices to reduce that carbon footprint. And good on you as well, by the way, mate. I mean, I must say, really obviously working with you on Renovate and Rebuild, but then just seeing how you've, then added that segment to Open Homes Australia Season 5, added that sort of to Australia's Best Malls, and then again now with Open Home Season 6 and Renovate and Rebuild Season 2. Yes, it's awesome for Energy Matters to work with you, and we love working with you. But beyond that, it's just so rewarding, and just it's lovely to see that your commitment to this is having a huge difference both to our audience, to your audience, to the people watching the TV shows. But then the knock-on effect is other networks, other TV shows are also now adopting this for their own content. And as you said, it's the greatest form of flattery. And at the same token, that's what we're in it for. It's not about being all miserly and keeping it tight and not wanting anyone else to copy. I mean, we want everybody to be able to adopt renewable energy technology. And every time you make a TV show that has that technology on there, that's 400,000 to maybe 1.2 million people at any given time seeing that segment. That's huge.
It makes a big difference. And we've got to go again, give a huge shout out to James. I think you already have there from Blue Tribe, because, this was his brainchild to kind of, get into media and promote it that way. And that's one of his, many fingers in pies when it comes to promoting sustainability and zero carbon. So, this won't be the first industry you see the change in. He's starting it in a lot of industries as well. But for a first step, I think it's making a huge difference already in a year. So I'm really excited to see where, for a first, year and a half of promoting this via TV, the next 2-3 years of the work that you and I do together, Rashaan, is just going to get bigger and bigger. So I'm really excited to see. Hopefully, a few more Banksias along the way would be nice.
Absolutely. Look, there's nothing like an award ceremony. Just that little pat on the back to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But look, once again, I mean, every time I've seen see another manufacturer or a solar power retailer on television or in another form of media, I mean, it just warms my heart. And I'm just so delighted to see. These amazing brands and these amazing individuals and companies, showcasing their tech and really just showing consumers and demonstrating what the technology is all about. And really, of course, we want everyone to go solar. So look, Sam, thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it. I know you've got a very busy schedule, so thank you for taking this time out to share with us what's coming up.
Always a pleasure chatting with you, Rashaan. Really appreciate your time, mate, and looking forward to filming with you all November.
Absolutely, mate. Just a couple of months to go, or a month to go. All right, guys. All right, we'll leave you there. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much.
So before we finish up, as we mentioned on today's episode, there are still a couple of spots available to showcase a property that you've even installed or a property that you've got your technology installed on, which A, is stunning, and B, would inspire the audience for Open Homes Australia to be able to say, you know what, that looks incredible. I'd like to adopt that in technology, or I'd also like to engage that solar power retailer to install some technology for me. So if you're one of those people watching today, please get in touch as soon as you can, and we will be looking to close up, the pre-production as soon as possible, and with a view to filming in November and December of this year. if you're watching today and you haven't got, and you own a home and you haven't gone solar, and you have got a business that hasn't gone solar, then please jump onto our website at www.energymatters.com.au and get 3 free solar quotes, and potentially even a free energy bill comparison via our site as well. So you can get the lowest possible rates for electricity and gas, and then incorporate those savings into the investment of renewable energy technology. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And look, for now, have a fantastic week. Thank you for your time.